We're in March, so it's a completely different team that we have. The guys have stepped up. Daniel's coming in to his own. Like I knew he would. Everybody knew he would. It just took a while, and he's coming in at the perfect time. Q's been there, consistent, Mr. Consistent, and our bigs are coming into full form. So now we have a well-rounded team, and we're going to be really, really good.
Do you get your arms around this season could be over tomorrow night? I mean, how do you deal with all of that?
I think you think about it, but you don't think about it. If that makes sense. You have that thought in your head that, man, it could be over. But, if you play nervous and you play like, oh, man, I want this to be the last game, I feel like that's going to take away from your aggressiveness and your attack mode. So just playing like every possession is your last possession, I think that will be our main focus as a team.
Can you realize this is going to feel like a home game tomorrow?
That's always a plus. That's always a plus as well. Playing so close to home, our fans are amazing. So we're just going to make sure we just go out there and just play loose. And whenever we need a boost, that we know the fans will be there. But hopefully we don't have to rely on the fans' boost to get us going. We'll just use our own energy.
What was the anger level, Coach, after the Duke game, and did practice change at all over the last week?
It wasn't necessarily angry. It was more of a teaching moment, and I think his whole lesson was he was glad that it happened now in the ACC tournament, so now we can get used to the set. Like we didn't know what type of urgency we needed to play with in the ACC tournament. We didn't know that it was. We knew obviously, but we didn't. We have guys who have been there, so we didn't understand that that's when to go home. And now we understand that tomorrow could be the last game of the season, so we just got to focus and come prepared and locked in. And when you get that lead like we had, we were up 13. Keep the pace going, keep it going, and not really fall back and get complacent.
Did you guys think that you might not be a 2 seed because of that loss?
I personally thought we were going to be a 3 seed, so the 2 seed was definitely, I would say, a testament to our strength of schedule. And even though we got the 2 seed, nothing's a guarantee at that point. And we just got to keep focusing. Jacksonville State's a great basketball team, and we're going to focus on them.
You think you found that urgency that you were talking about that you didn't maybe know that you needed in the ACC tournament?
I think so. I think that loss definitely showed us the sense of urgency. Watching Duke go out there and play with that sense of urgency for all, 4 games that they had or whatever it was, and then sitting in my room and watching them, Dang and I sat there, we were laughing and joking throughout the whole game, and then once they won, the room kind of got silent, and that's when we kind of realized, all right, like, that could have been us if we did this. And now I think that now that we know that, we're going to move forward and kind of play with a sense of urgency.
Because you guys only lost by 4 to them and everything that happened.
We were up 13 at that point, right. So we lost that game ourselves. We stopped moving the ball. They went to the zone. We had success against zone, but we just got to keep moving the ball and get the ball to our bigs who are doing incredible that game.
Donovan, how you feeling personally, kind of bouncing back from a tough shooting game? And
luckily it was a week ago, so I'm kind of just all past it. We're all focused on this game, just being ready to go out there and just perform like everybody knows I can, and we know we can as a team. And the good thing as a leader, you start to forget about the bad games and the past games that happened and just focus on the one that's upcoming. And that's the one thing I've learned as a leader. You just got to focus on what's coming next and not really worry about the past.
Did you change your approach to practice or anything? Did you get extra shots up or anything?
Definitely got a bunch of shots up. But the approach is definitely come out with more, like I said, a sense of urgency. It's communicating, being the vocal one. After every bad game, everybody wants to kind of sulk, and you can't do that. That's one game. Move on from it and just go out there and just play your heart out.
Earlier in December, you kind of had a breakout game in this arena. Are you happy to be back here after kind of the tough shooting stretch for you?
You feel comfortable coming back to the place where you've done well, but December is in December. We're in March, and teams are going to key on me a lot more than they did in December. I just got to be able to do other things besides be an offensive threat. Get steals, be a defensive threat, rebound. Last game I only had 3 rebounds and 1 assist. I didn't really do much else or do much of anything for the team. So I think that's my big focus, just going out there and just doing other things besides being an offensive threat.
Coach was going to bring up Luke Kennard too. He mentioned that.
Yeah, he's
as far as kind of efficient.
I've been watching film on him, and he just lets the game come to him. He plays so like calmly, regardless of how big the situation is, how big the game is. He lets the game come to him. He does. Like our game, he had 24 and 10 rebounds. And a guy like Luke Kennard, he's not necessarily the best athlete coming up with 10 rebounds. That's impressive. And he does many different things. He gets his teammates involved. He understands that we were focused on him for pretty much the whole first half. Got the ball away to Jason Tatum. He did his thing, and then the second half he did his thing. So just letting the game, be patient, let the game come to you.
Your teammates have been talking about how many free throws they've been shooting. How many have you shot, and how many have you made?
I could not tell you, to be honest.
But a lot.
Definitely a lot. Definitely a lot.
You think all that shooting's going to pay off down the stretch here?
I definitely think so. The good thing is we shoot them when we're not tired, midway through practice, and after practice. And I think that's what's best, because we know how to shoot when we're tired, when we're fresh, whatever the situation calls for.
Donovan, it's a long season, and you guys did not want to lose in the first round of that ACC tournament. But having several days to be able to get your legs back, does that maybe help a little bit?
I definitely think so. Obviously you want to be able to play in all four games where it may have been for us. But we got to just live and move on from it. Like I said, Dang and I were watching the game, championship game, and we were all laughter through it, just talking and joking. And then once the game ended, and we kind of watched them celebrate, it's kind of like the room just got silent. We didn't really say anything to each other. We just kind of just watched them celebrate. I think when you watch another team celebrate, it kind of gets that fire underneath you. And I think in practice, him and I, we've just been the sense of urgency has just picked up from everybody. I know everybody watched that game, watched them celebrate. So the intensity level has gone that much higher, and we just have a week off and a week to kind of think about that loss. And it's the only thing you have on your mind. So you just gotta keep practicing hard, and practice through it.
What has that week been like?
It's been a long week, but it's not a negative thing. I think it's better to happen in the ACC tournament than the NCAA tournament, because it gives us time to see like what we can build on from there. And it's kind of like I kind of compare that loss to the loss in the Bahamas to Baylor, because we played a great team right after Baylor, and we're doing the same thing in Jacksonville State. So we just got to go out there and lock in the scouting report and build on what we didn't do in the Duke game.
Even though you guys are going to be